Hi, everybody. So in this week, we're going to learn about the Pythagorean Theorem. Now, believe it or not, but these are the two last lessons we have on this unit. And then next week, we're going to start a new unit. So the Pythagorean Theorem says that if you square the legs of a right triangle and then add them, the result will be the same as the square of the hypotenuse. So that means that my legs are right here, which is A and B, and my hypotenuse is C right here. So they're saying that if I square A and add B squared, it's going to get me to C squared. Now, in this example, I have 3 squared because it has 3 blocks right here. And then I add 4 squared, and that would give me 9 plus 16, and added together would give me 25. If I take the square root of this 25, because I have a square right here, I need to take the square root to then find C, it would give me 5. So that means my hypotenuse is 5. So let's look at some of the examples. The first triangle we have already kind of looked at. Because we have 3 right here, we can simply just count the blocks. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And we just figured out that that would be 5. That's kind of a standard, the 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if I square leg 1, I'm going to get 9. And then if I square leg 2, I'm going to get 16. And if I square my hypotenuse, I would get 25. And something that we already said that we notice, if we add these two together, we're going to get the square of the hypotenuse right here. Now let's look at the second triangle. This one is a little bit differently placed, so you got to make sure you know where the right angle is, which is right here. So if I count my boxes, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I square 6, I'm going to get 36. And then right here, my other leg is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I square 8, I'm going to get 64. So if I add 36 and 64, I'm going to get to 100. Now that means if I square root this 100, I'm going to get 10. So that means my hypotenuse is 10. So again, that's one of the special or regular triangles that you could see. It's 6, 8, 10. And remember, this one was 3, 4, and 5. And then the other one, the triangle number 3, remember, we got to locate that right angle first, which is right here. So one of my legs is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I square that, I'm going to get 25. And my other leg is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if I square 12, I'm going to get 144. And if I add these two together, 25 plus 144, I'm going to get 169. And if I square root my 169, whoops, square root it, not square it, I'm going to get 13. So that means my hypotenuse is 13. Okay, so let's look at a real world example. So I have my squirrel right here, and the squirrel really wonders about the height of this tree. Now this leg right here is 20, and I know that my hypotenuse is 29. So I can fill this into my equation that I already have. So remember, Pythagorean theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now I have my first leg, which is 20, and I'm going to square that. And then I don't have my b squared, so I'm just going to leave it as a b squared. But I do have my hypotenuse, which is 29 squared. Okay, so I'm going to continue writing this on this side. So now if I square these, I'm going to have 20 squared, which is 400. And then plus b squared, because I still don't know my height, equals, and then 29 times 29, which equals 841. Now, I want to try to solve for b because I want to know my height. So what I have to do is I'm going to have to take 400 away. Okay, and that would give me b squared equals 441. Now, I still have a squared right here, so to get rid of this, I'm going to have to take the square root. So this would cancel out. So if I take the square root of 441, I'm going to get 21. So that means now that my height is 21. Okay, now let's look at if this always works. I've talked about the right angles, but these do not have right angles. So let's kind of see if this would actually work out if it does not have a right angle. So here we have my legs could be 3 and 4. So remember, Pythagorean theorem states a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, if I go ahead and plug that in, I would get 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 6 squared. And that would give me 9 plus 16 equals 36. And here I can already see that this is not true, right? So 25 does not equal 36. So it's not true. Not true. Okay, so let's see here. They're all the same, so I'm just going to use one of these as a leg. So 5 squared plus 5 squared equals 5 squared. Now, that would be 25 plus 25 equals 50. And we, oops, not 50. That would be 25. I thought ahead already. So here you could see that that would be 50 equals 25. And you know that that's not true. So again, it wouldn't work. And in my last example, the hypotenuse, or this almost looks like that this could be my 2 legs and this could be the hypotenuse. So it would be 6 squared plus 7 squared equals 8 squared. So then I have 36 plus 49 equals 64. And that would give me 36 plus 49 equals 70, 85 equals 64. And you know that that's not true either. So that tells me that if I want to use the Pythagorean theorem, there has to be a right triangle. Okay, so that's really, really important. Has to be a right triangle. Okay, so I hope you learned a little bit more about the Pythagorean theorem, and I will see you in our